Hey guys, how's it going? SK here. So, the art of letting go. I've really made it a point in the last couple years to let go, to forgive, and to forget. Again, if you haven't watched my other videos, if this is the first time, I wasn't liked by anybody in elementary, middle, or high school. Anybody. Surprisingly, I pulled a lot of tail, and I had a lot of sex in high school, which was great. Probably the biggest highlight of it, honestly. But besides that, I had a couple friends along the way, but I really wasn't liked. I was outcasted. I was pushed to the side, kind of forgotten about. And Jordan Peterson kind of talks about how that works. And if you ever watched his speech when he's talking about growth and how being outcasted at such a young age has tremendous effects on the rest of your life, especially with growth development. Everything he says is true about it because I lived it. I was outcasted at like 5. I was labeled weird, that was all, and it followed me. Didn't matter if I moved to another school. It didn't matter if I moved to another state. It didn't even matter that I moved to a fucking island. That weirdness and that self-loathing and that sadness just followed me. And everyone, trust me, whether you think about it or not, people just can smell it. It's like smelling weakness. And I reeked of it. But it's not their fault. It's not their fault that they didn't like me. It was mine. You know, some people, you read about on the news, some people aren't liked and they fucking, live the whole life, just being angry about it. And one day they snap, they either become a mass shooter or they try to hunt down all the people that are mean to them in high school and fucking kill them, right? Like this does have a huge effect on your mental stability, but it doesn't have to. Ultimately, people don't have to fucking like you. People didn't have to like me. People didn't like me, so they chose not to hang out with me, they chose not to include me, and they chose to push me to the side, and that's all there is to it. It sucks. I wish it was different. I wish it was a different path that I took. I wish it was a different thing that happened, but it just didn't. So I chose to forgive them, because ultimately they didn't do anything wrong. It sucks that I was pushed to the side, but that's just what happened. That's just what happens sometimes. Not everyone's gonna like you, and maybe nobody fucking likes you. But ultimately, you gotta fix that growth. Because I was weird. I was a creep, because I didn't know how to act, especially around women. I was just very much, I didn't have that guidance from, you know, a father. I really didn't have that guidance from friends. I didn't have, anything. When I would try to play with other kids, I wouldn't know the games. And so ultimately, they ended up hating me even more because I didn't understand the game, which means most of the time we lost because I didn't understand what I was really doing and they would explain it real quick. And then so I lost this fucking game for them and then they disliked me more. And that pattern just kept fucking going. Ultimately, though, if you're in the same boat and if you are going crazy with how angry you are, stop it, bro. Forgive. They did nothing wrong. Now, if they fucking tied you up and fucking dumped you into the fucking toilet and if they were fucking just monsters about it, I can understand some resentment, but ultimately, that's on them. Karma's gonna catch up with them. Whatever happens with them happens. That's okay. The most important thing you can do is be better today than you were yesterday. Now, let's talk about the family aspect of it, though, and your personal relationships. My stepdad wasn't a cool guy. Honestly, he was mentally abusive. I'm sure if he ever sees these videos, he's going to deny it. He's going to call me weak. He's going to say that I was just a pussy. He was going to say I was weird, and, the biggest mistake ever was me coming in his life. That's cool. And dude, if you're seeing this, I'm fucking killing it. I'm already killing it being a loser, because I'm growing out of it. And guess what happened? Dude, I'm doing better. So if you're watching this, dude, fuck you. Honestly. And I'll say that to your face if you think this is one thing that I would only say online. Hit me up. My phone number never changed. And we can talk about it, bro. But that's a whole nother subject, right? So let's talk about if your parents, stepdad, stepmom, whatever, were just not the best. It was out of your control. You were a kid. And I wish I did more to protect my mother, but I was just a kid. And it sucks. And I regret I wasn't stronger, but I just wasn't. It is not your place as a kid to protect your parents. They should know the situation they're going in, and they should know how to handle that situation. My mother raised me great. I love her. I thank God every day for my mother. But she got put in that situation, and it sucks. She probably could have dealt with it a little bit better. It is what it is, though. So, with both of them, right? When it comes to my stepdad, again, I'm killing it. I'm married. I have a happy family. Fuck you. When it comes to my mother, there's nothing to forgive. Everyone makes mistakes, dude. Everyone makes fucking mistakes. We have a great relationship. I'm probably going to call her after I make this video. And I love her. Now let's talk about the other side of the family, like the aunts, uncles, grandpas, anybody like that, right? Look, if you got sexually assaulted, that's unforgivable. And that should be dealt with by adults for adults. And they should be dealt with. Don't make up don't make up shit because, he didn't buy you something, don't be a bitch about it and abuse the legal system. But whatever happens that goes way beyond, just them being mean, rude, beating you, whatever, make sure the authorities know. If they do beat you, just don't talk to them. But ultimately, they reacted that way because that's probably how their parents reacted. Or they were high, or they were drunk, or whatever. That's how they chose to handle themselves. So, going back to what we were talking about in the beginning of the video, you don't have to have relationship with anybody you don't want. Okay? Like I explained in the beginning of this video. If they're always drunk, if they're always high, if they are just a mean person, just because they're your parents, they're human. Ultimately, they're all human beings, and once you become an adult, you can leave it or you can love them. Hey, you know what? You've been drunk my whole fucking life and you beat on me and my mom. I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to have a relationship with you. I don't want your respect. I want to do bigger and greater things than you ever even dreamed of. That doesn't come from a place of hate, and it shouldn't. It comes from a place of growth and understanding. Harboring this anger for anybody, aunt, grandpa, mom, dad, anybody, does you no good. Trust me. I was angry for a long time about a lot of this shit that I'm talking about. And if I could go back in time, I would say the same shit I'm doing now. It does no good. You just gotta learn how to forgive for yourself. It's not about forgiving so they can come back in your life, so they can be part of your life, so they can fucking have a relationship with you. It's about forgiving so you can find that peace within yourself. And that's the most important thing, guys. You gotta forgive for yourself. And ultimately, you just gotta grow. If no one liked you in school, figure out what it was about you, be honest about it, embrace it, and fix it. Just because you embrace, I was a weird kid, and a creep, and no one liked me, I'm now gonna fucking work at Hy-Vee for the rest of my fucking life. No. Strive to do better. Because ultimately, you never know who you're gonna run into in the future. I'm gonna run into people that really hated me in the future. And I would rather tell them I'm a United States Marine, personally. Take whatever path you guys feel is the equivalent. But hopefully they catch me in my fucking uniform. So I could be like, hey, what are you doing with your life? Oh, you just work at a grocery store? Elite fighter. So, you know, crazy how things work out. Have a good day, and that's it. You don't have to be like, yeah, no, I'm doing this, fuck you, for never inviting me to a sleepover, yeah. No. Be humble about it. Cool down with it. They made their choices based on what was available to their knowledge at the time. That's it. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Really just find that peace for yourself. Alright. Have a great night, guys.